They don't like me, I'ma live my life anyway. I ain't fucking with her if she ain't watching anime. You know the finest women in the world, you know they cosplay. Pocket full of money, yeah, yeah. Man, I came to play, yeah, yeah. Drop top, yeah, yeah. Drop top, yeah, yeah. All summer, yeah, yeah. I won't stop, yeah, yeah. Beat going crazy, it's a whole.
Talking about really bad anime. Now, if you were into the podcast, which the podcast that we just did on Thursday, the podcast was about underrated anime. And of course, y'all know I watch a crap ton of anime, so I watch a crap ton of anime, so of course, I came with a list. We were supposed to have like 5 to 10, and I had like 20. Yes, this is the live. And I had like 20. So, yeah. So, in there, we did ask for some people to send us what they thought was overrated or underrated or just bad anime in general. And we did get like a list. At least it was sent to me. And don't mind that my YouTube partner's not here. It's his birthday weekend, so he is probably somewhere quite intoxicated, drunk, okay? But anyway, so today we're going to talk about really bad anime, and because y'all know I watch a lot of fucking anime, I've got quite the list. So we're gonna start with my absolute number one, like, bad anime, right? And it's one I want to say it came out in like 2014. I think that's what the fuck it said. But to be honest, I don't remember what year it came out. I'm pretty sure it's a Crunchyroll original. When I tell you X-Arm is literally so bad, X-Arm is terrible. And it's not even so much the story, because the story actually can be interesting, but it's more so how the animation is so bad that it makes the story also seem really bad. So it looks like, if you've seen Ruby, how Ruby is on top of just like regular animation. So it's like Ruby's animation and then regular animation like Naruto. And it's almost as if everybody who worked on this anime worked on it at separate times in separate locations with separate computers. And they all worked on the same one scene, but not together. That's how the animation is. It's so bad. And it looks horrific. And I was always just trying to understand, like, what people saw in this anime. And I'm like, maybe I need to watch it again. So I watched it. I watched it one time, and it was just really bad. So I decided to watch it again, and I was like, okay, I was right the first time. This is just really bad. The second really bad anime for me, and I know that some people are going to be like, why would you say that? And then there's a bunch of people who would actually agree. One of the like worst animes for me, just in general, is Dragon Ball GT. GT is so bad, and it's not even that the animation is bad. Thank you. I'm gonna like hit you up on Facebook and say thank you for real. But thank you. But Dragon Ball GT is literally awful. And I don't know. Exactly. GT is so bad, and I just never understood, because there are some people who are like, what are you guys talking about? GT's not that bad. And I'm like, are we looking at the same TV screen? Because GT is horrid. Like, GT is like, I can't even explain how bad it is, from like the plot, and then it's like almost kind of like the animation didn't really keep up with the original Dragon Ball Z either, but the plot for GT was just absolute garbage. Another one that I might get some heat for, but I love you guys, I love y'all. Sailor Moon Crystal is not doing it for me. And everybody knows how much I love Sailor Moon. I will go to bat for Sailor Moon for almost anything. But Sailor Moon Crystal is pissing me off. More so It's the plot and the animation. So like the animation I think is incredibly ugly. I hate the animation. I hate the style. I hate how it looks. It does not look nice. It's not a good aesthetic. It's just but it's like the plot. It changed almost entirely to me, and that's just me watching like the original Sailor Moon and then coming into Sailor Moon Crystal, and I'm just like, the Sailor Scouts have husbands, and then you reveal that the Sailor Scouts have husbands only to immediately kill them. And I was like, what was the point in saying that they have husbands? What was the point in anything that happened here? If you're just going to just, oh, we're just going to kill them anyway, but we wanted to let you guys know that. I could have went my entire life and have gone my entire life without knowing any of that information. And it didn't change anything at all, other than pissing the Sailor Scouts off. What was the point? I think just how they've altered the plot to include these random things, it almost kind of feels like Dragon Ball Z Kai, where they enter all of these things that they like took out before, and then they're like, well, when we put these things back in, it's going to make it a little bit better. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. So that's how that is for me. One I know you guys have heard me talk about, and I think that it is absolute human god, like human shit. Holy Knight. So Holy Knight is on Crunchyroll. It's like 3 episodes, and it's 3 episodes of absolutely nothing. Nothing is happening. It's some main character girl and then some guy, and then it's just 3 episodes of them arguing about the prophecy and what the fuck is supposed to be happening. I think she's a vampire or some shit. And at the end of it, you see her chest with like no shirt on because she got captured or some shit. And I'm just like, what was the point here? Like, where is the holy part? Where is the night part? Where are these 2 parts in unison? Like, I don't understand what's going on. So it was 3 episodes of absolute crap, and I hated myself for even watching it. It was an absolute waste of time. Another one that was an absolute waste of time, and I was actually kind of shocked by this, is Earl and Fairy. So when because my YouTube partner makes fun of me for how I choose to go and pick anime. Earl and Fairy is one that I randomly picked off Crunchyroll. And it started out interesting. It started out pretty good. And then it just got increasingly boring, and I don't really know where the turn of events happened to where it just got super boring. But Earl and Fairy is just like so bone dry. Like, it's talking about this doctor who believes in fairies, and then the rest of the world doesn't believe in fairies, although there is evidence that fairies exist. And then they go through like the process of trying to make her sound crazy, but other people are obviously seeing fairies. And then she's like on the run with somebody who's looking for this land of fairies. And then you would think that that's like super exciting, but it's literally not. They have made that exact plot storyline as boring as humanly possible. And it's just it's not fun to watch. The action is and the story is like, it's not fun. Another one that I think is just increasingly bad is One Piece. Everybody knows how I feel about One Piece. Everybody knows that I dislike One Piece. But One Piece for me, for as long as it is, One Piece should not be boring. And there's just way too much happening for you to be as boring as you are. And I just dislike the animation. I dislike how any of the characters are drawn, and I can't get into any characters anyway. So it's just not fun for me, and I don't really like it. Another anime that's really bad and kind of awkward is Pupa. Pupa. It's an older anime, and it's weird because it's about this relationship, this sexual relationship between these 2 siblings. And it almost is kind of like in my mind where the Irregular at Magic High School kind of gets their sibling love thing going from, but this is like 10 times worse than whatever is happening in the Irregular at Magic High School. Like, these two as a couple is disgusting, and there's just like so many things going on to where this anime is just like so gross, and I'm just like, how is this real? The story makes absolutely no sense. The animation is okay, but it's not like great. But like the story in itself, on top of all of the stuff that's happening, a tragedy in 3 parts. Another one that's like that is School Days. When I was looking for horror TV shows, oh my god. When I was looking for horror TV shows, people were like, oh, you should watch School Days, you should watch School Days. School Days is literally this man being a whore until one girl decides to kill his ass. Like, that's literally it. So it's not like, there's not even really kind of like a plot, in my opinion. It's just a guy sleeping around with a school full of chicks, and he has the attention of 2 of them. 2 of them really like him, and he goes through like these extreme lengths to be popular or something. And so he just is like, oh, I want to sleep with you, I want to sleep with you. And then he comes to his senses somewhere in the middle of all of that and decides to be with like one of them, which pisses off the other one. And then she ends up chopping his head off and cutting him up into pieces, and then taking him on a boat and be like, oh, look at us. Like, and it's just like, what happened? Did she had a psychotic break, and that's where we're going? Okay, and that's it. Wonderful. Now, Rent-A-Girlfriend is also not a good anime. Some people are in love with Rent-A-Girlfriend. I don't see it. I don't see the hype for Rent-A-Girlfriend. What's the one where it's like the boy is with his dad, and it's like, was it Domestic Girlfriend? Where he's like in love with his stepsister or stepmom or whatever she's supposed to be. That one, I did watch that one. The story was kind of iffy, but the animation saved it a bit. But the Rent-A-Girlfriend's not like that to me. I just can't. What's my favorite anime character? My very favorite anime character in like all of life? I don't have one. I like a lot of anime characters. Gojo is one of my favorite anime characters. Naruto, Sasuke, Itachi, those 3. Shisui is also one of my favorite anime characters. I have a bunch. I have a lot of anime characters. But anyway, and I think one more that I had that was really not a good anime. This was like a long list of animes that I was like I'm trying to remember from memory. King's Game. There we go. It was King's Game. So if you've seen Darwin's Game is top tier. Okay? Future Diary is top tier. Battle Game in 5 seconds, top tier. Tomodachi Game, top tier. And then we have King's Game, who decided to kind of insert itself. And King's Game was okay if it were a game. But it didn't even feel like it was a game. It was just like, here's this that I made. And I'm just like, what is King's Game supposed to be exactly? Because there's not, it's like, it says it's a game, but it's not really a game. And it just doesn't, thank you. And it just doesn't do anything. It doesn't give you that where you're kind of freaked out, kind of like how you were in Darwin's Game or in Future Diary or even in Battle Game in 5 seconds, where it was giving you like all of this stuff going on. It didn't do any of those things. And so it just wasn't good to me. But that's just me, my opinion on good and bad animes. Again, if you have not seen, or not seen, but if you have not heard the podcast, we are on Apple Podcasts, we are on Google Podcasts, we are on Samsung Podcasts, we are on Amazon Music, for everybody, and we're also on Spotify. So of course, I think we're 3 episodes in, so you should definitely go listen to the podcast and tell us what you think. If you want to be a part of the podcast, absolutely, I'm more than willing to have you guys be part of the podcast. And basically, how you become part of the podcast that you listen to is I will, like, you message me, I will give you the number that you call in, I'll tell you the date and the topic, and then you call into that number and we get started. If you want to be on the show, like on this one where I just talk on live, or we all talk on live, and then I put it on the YouTube channel, you can just hit me up and I'll give you that topic and we'll kind of get like a little ad video together. Today was kind of just thrown together. Can't tell, I am actually getting over strep and an ear infection, and I do not feel good, and I am incredibly tired. And again, my YouTube partner is out drinking, probably drunk, intoxicated. He ain't answered a call all day. So, but we are going to like start getting guests together and getting everybody scheduled out. So I do appreciate everybody who has listened to the podcast, download the podcast. Thank you. Thank you. The hair needs to be redone, right? Because it's kind of sticking out. It has to be redone before DragonCon. If you guys are going to DragonCon, do let me know, because I absolutely have no problem like meeting up and taking pictures, doing videos, doing TikToks, and putting shit up. I am going to be at DragonCon. If you don't know, DragonCon is in Atlanta at the end of the month. So it's August 31st through the 4th or 5th, something like that. I think it's the 4th. So I will be there all of the days, except Monday. I will be leaving on Monday. So before all of that, I will be there taking pictures, doing videos, all that jazz. If you are going to DragonCon, do let me know. And of course, I appreciate all of you guys. If you have any other topics that you wanted to talk about, do let me know. I think this week when we do the podcast and when I come back on Sunday to do this, we are going to be talking about Disney, because we haven't talked about Disney in a while. We did do a Disney episode a long time ago, so we're going to go back to doing some Disney, and I think after that we're probably going to do like some Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter type things. So getting into all of the other things that make us all nerds, trying to get that be a little bit better. So I will see you guys next Sunday, and listen to us on Thursdays on our podcast, Nerd on the Street. Bye, you guys.